Hello, everyone. I hope I am visible and you all can see us. Today, we are back with an interesting conversation again with Mr. Agnello Rajesh on inspiring conversations. Today, we are taking up a very interesting topic, which is on willpower. And of course, Mr. Agnello Rajesh does not need an introduction, but we are going to start with some pearls of wisdom with him. I have about 14 questions for you, sir, today. Do you
Oh, I'm
want to?
looking forward to that. I would look forward to that, Nidhi.
All right. Guys, thanks for joining us. I can see a lot of you guys are joining in there. Thank you. Before we start taking the questions, I have 14 questions in here today. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. But in case there's something you guys want to ask us, shoot your questions and I'm going to get answers from Mr. Agnello Rajesh on the same. Right. So, Mr. Agnello Rajesh, my first question, which is something that I'm very inquisitive about, is what is willpower according to you? And how do you define it?
Okay, Nidhi, first and foremost, good evening, friends. Welcome to yet another episode of Inspiring Conversations and a very happy Republic Day to all of you. We are celebrating the Republic Day only and only because millions of Indians had the willpower to achieve freedom at all costs. And today we are here in a free country full of opportunities and resources to build our lives beyond what anyone would have imagined before we achieved our freedom. So now, going back to your question, Nidhi, about what is willpower according to me and how do I define it? Well, before I define willpower, Nidhi, let me define the word will. Friends, will is the ability to make free choices. For instance, we chose to connect with each other on inspiring conversations, and we willingly choose topics that we know have the potential to inspire our lovely audience. The same way that we are inspired by the questions that the audience is going to be putting to us during the show. And the audience also inspires us not only with brilliant questions, but comments on our comments. And I look forward to that along with you, Nidhi. That's what is going to be very interesting. Now, Nidhi, willpower at its essence is the ability to resist short-term temptations in order to meet long-term goals. In fact, it is the power to make conscious choices and delay gratifications. In simple terms, Nidhi, it can be communicated as small-term pains leading to long-term gains. Willpower is the motivation to exercise our will. A person with strong willpower will take decisions even in the face of strong opposition or other contradictory indicators, Nidhi. A person with little willpower will give in extremely easily. We see this happening in a lot of personal relationships as well. So stronger the willpower, stronger the person. That's the magic of willpower. You need to define and decide on which side you would like to be.
Interesting. While I still absorb that, Mr. Agnello Rajesh, and that's a lot of words, I mean, a lot of thought in there that we need to absorb. But I'm going to go to my second question because I know by the time we answer these questions, the definition and the implementation of this is going to be much more simplified for all of us. So let me go to my second question. Could you give us examples of a few such people, because that will give us a little more clarity? Could you throw some light on some examples of people who've displayed willpower in life?
Oh, Nidhi, where do I start? There are so many people who have exercised this powerful word called willpower and changed the entire world, Nidhi. The world, not just their life, not just the world around them, but absolutely the entire world. An entire generation would have missed out on the magical world of Harry Potter had J.K. Rowling believed what others said. Others used to demotivate her and say that her writings were good for nothing. So willpower is the determination, the passion, and the sense of affirmation to not give up no matter what. And today we enjoy Harry Potter, and J.K. Rowling is one of the best known writers ever born. Nidhi, I personally live by what our father of the nation, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, said. And I love that saying. He said that strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will, a will which will never lose out, never bow down, never accept defeat. And that's what we had when we wanted to achieve freedom from the Britishers when they were back home in India. So that's what I would like to describe. There are many examples like J.K. Rowling, like Mahatma Gandhi. There are so many hundreds of examples of people who changed the world on sheer the power of one word, and that was willpower.
Very, very interesting. And some beautiful examples in there. I actually never thought of J.K. Rowling as someone who, listened to his own willpower and moved with it. So very beautifully explained them, Mr. Agnula Rajesh. I'm going to come to something which I have watched, and that is Josh Talks. Okay, and I realized when I was watching that episode, which was very inspiring as well. And the one thing I noticed and I took out of that episode was that you possessed tremendous willpower. I mean, despite all the challenges that you faced in your childhood, one thing that came across, and I'm sure is an inspiration to a lot of people out there, is you never gave up. You, in fact, leveraged these challenges to make yourself who you are today. How did you do that? What was the science? What is the science behind possessing this willpower? If you could explain this to us.
Well, Nidhi, Josh Talks that I did was a very interesting episode. A lot of people got connected to me thanks to that video on Josh Talks, and I'm happy you saw that. Well, Nidhi, that's life. What I explained in the video, that's life. So I had two choices in life, like just like how everybody else has. I could either cry at the unfairness of life, or I could use my situation to advance myself and better my life. And because I chose the second option, I'm sitting here with you today and discussing willpower. So it has been a absolutely fantastic personal life journey. I chose every single day of my life to be the better version of myself. And I'm sure each one of you watching this show also do the same. You want to see a better version of yourself every day. The question that I would like to ask is, how could I further improve? What can I learn today? I took all sorts of job, Nidhi. I sold things door to door, met so many wonderful people. So many people who were extremely kind to me and taught me so much. Even the people who refused to support me in whatever I was doing, they also taught me persistence. So each person who came across me in my life has been a teacher. I owe so much of my success to all these people in life. But Nidhi, at the end of the day, I didn't have the will to better my life. Where would I be? So I had to create the willpower, and I had to meet those people who I would have otherwise not met if I had a weaker willpower. And I'm so grateful and thankful to the Lord Almighty that I came across so many wonderful people. Many of them are there today live on the show with me. And each one of you has taught me persistence. Each one of you has taught me confidence. And each one of you has taught me how to have a stronger willpower, to have a better life, to lead a better life, and to create a world around you and to build an ecosystem around you, which can be beneficial for all of us together simultaneously. And that's what I term it as my personal ecosystem.
Beautiful and very, very inspiring, sir. Like I said, you've been an inspiration for so many out there, me being one of them. I would want to come again to the fourth question that I have here. And yes, Miss Desai here completely agrees with us. Thank you, ma'am. I think I second that view there. I completely agree with you as well that at the end of the day, it's probably his willpower that sailed him through life and has put him where he is today. My fourth question is this, and something that I'm just going a further, diving a little further into things is your mindset. Can you explain your mindset about willpower?
So, Nidhi, let me explain the science of willpower to our lovely audience today. It's simple, actually, not complicated at all. It is a little technical, but let me explain this to you. To understand the science behind possessing willpower, let's first understand what determines our willpower. So, in the brain, okay, in our brain, the seat of willpower is the prefrontal cortex. Let me explain this word again. Prefrontal cortex. It's a slight technical explanation, but I'm sure each one of you knows this and you will make a note of it which can benefit you. So it's more evolved in human beings. The prefrontal cortex is more evolved in humans rather than the other species. That's why animals might be intuitive or smart, but they can never compare to us human beings because we have the advantage of the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex, in sense, it sits at the top of the tree in the brain. It sits on the top of your brain. This specific part of the brain is key to willpower. It holds plans and intentions in mind while inhibiting the more primitive appetites and impulses which are usually responsible for willpower successes or willpower failures. Nidhi, just like every muscle that you need to develop, similarly, brain also is a muscle. You need to train your brain to activate your prefrontal cortex and in turn make your willpower stronger. The essence is to train your brain to pause before you act. Remember, Nidhi, the promise of reward doesn't always equal satisfaction. Your mind tricks you into believing the object of your desire is what will make you happy. But Nidhi, long-term satisfaction is rooted in your ability to refrain from impulses that stray you from your goals and values. And also, what we already know, all of us know this. Once again, I would like to repeat it at the cost of repetition. Brain is a muscle. So the more you exercise it, the better and stronger it gets. We need to keep on exercising not only our body, but also our brain, and that will lead us to a stronger willpower.
Beautiful words there. Before I go on to the next, Mr. Mohammed Amir has a question here. Agnology, you yourself have got very strong willpower. Oh, he actually, I thought it was a question. So he's actually Mr. Amir. Thank you, Mr. Agnolo Rajesh. Do you want to say something to him to
Oh,
this?
so Mr. Mohammed Amir is a very dear friend all the way from Qatar in the Middle East. Thank you for your participation, Mr. Amir. And thank you for putting a comment on that. People who know each other can make those kind of comments. And I'm proud to know you, Mr. Amir. And you're also one of the individuals that I know who has a very strong willpower. And the way you stand with your family and you're involved with the growth of your children explains nothing more than the strong willpower that you had when you left India, went to Qatar and established a life not only comfortable for you, but you made sure that your children were made successful through the power of education. That also is willpower for which I always respect who you are.
Amazing, Mr. Salunke. Yes, I agree with you. That is amazing there. I'm going to come back to my fifth question. But before that, yeah, some beautiful thoughts there. Training the mind, exercising the mind. I never thought of it that way. And I'm sure a lot of people have not thought of it that way. But I think it's never too late to start. So maybe that is something that we all need to get to. How does this work, Mr. Agnello Rajesh? I know that's a lot for us already to compute, but if you could throw a little more light on how this works, how does willpower work?
Well, Nidhi, if I talk about my personal experiences and how my willpower works, I would say that don't think of very short time or immediate benefits and accordingly take decisions, but look at the long term gains. Like I said, I have worked as a door to door salesman at an age when others used to visit restaurants, watch movies, and have fun with friends. Even I had fun whenever I got a chance, but my willpower kept me pulling back to the main purpose of my life back then, which was work, learn, and earn money for my family, which was consisting of my parents and two brothers, and earn experience for myself to give shape to the life I had imagined for myself and my dear ones. So, Nidhi, self awareness, that is the most important aspect. Knowing the true purpose of what you want determines how willful you are or how strong you are going to build your willpower. So self-awareness, self-control, and self-motivation. These three elements determine how your willpower works. So Nidhi, if you are aware of your intentions, you will be able to control any action that contradicts the fulfillment of that intention and willfully motivates yourself to do what you intend to do. So life is all about mind control. Life is all about the power of willpower. Nidhi, can you tell me the name of a megastar who's a Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, and a Padma Vibhushan, but was rejected when he had applied for a role as a newsreader for All India Radio? So let me answer that question for you.
I
Yes,
need that.
I'm sure you'll get it. It is Amitabh Bachchan. It is Amitabh
Really?
Bachchan. So did you know Amitabh Bachchan overcame the initial rejection only to become one of the biggest superstars that Indian cinema has ever seen. And one thing that kept pushing him, unless he took the center stage of the Bollywood, was his mother's words. She always insisted that he should take center stage. And he did. And how? He took a center stage in such a way that the whole industry started evolving around him. And we all know how successful Amitabh Bachchan is in every field. But we should also know and learn from how he reacted to his initial failure, only to take it as an opportunity to do something bigger than what he had hoped to do. So, willpower allows us to see rejection or failure as a stepping stone to creating and achieving something greater and something more meaningful.
Very interesting, Mr. Munot. There very rightly said, learn, work, earn is the new mantra. Miss Sakshi Tandon has a question for you here, sir. Can you please share your valuable inputs on how to work on sustainable willpower in unfavorable conditions? A beautiful question, Miss Tandon.
So, Sakshi Tandon, there is no situation which is unfavorable. We need to depend on how we look at it. It's like being optimistic or pessimistic, but we need to have confidence that we can wade through any waters and reach to safety and success. It is your attitude which will define and decide your altitude. So, if you have the attitude to overcome any situation, every situation will be considered as a favorable situation. This is not philosophy, Sakshi. This is what how I live my life. This is how you live your life, and this is how most of the people who are watching this show also live their life. Favorable and unfavorable situation is a categorization that our mind does on the basis of the inferences that we derive. So let us be absolutely positive. If I'm walking through a way and if there is a wall, there are two types of people. One person will stop because there is a wall, and one person, like Sakshi Tandon, will climb the wall and go to the other side of freedom. That's what we did 73 years back, and that's why we are celebrating the Republic Day today. And that's what most of the optimistic people do. They convert every situation, favorable or otherwise, into a favorable situation, and that's what we need to aim at, and that's what willpower is all about.
Beautifully explained. I hope that answers you, Miss Sakshi Tandon. I'm sorry, sir. There's another question that I have to take here. I met Mr. Agnello Rajesh today for the first time at an event. Well, that's I got attracted to his positive aura and vibes. I had no idea who he was. My question to him will be, what is the key to sustain it for a long time, especially in tough times when someone is feeling low?
What is the
What is the key to sustain willpower for a long time, especially in tough times when we are low?
So, Captain Vinay, it was a pleasure meeting you today at during the brunch at Sante in Khar at Mumbai. Thank you so much for your participation for this show. Sustainability is not connected with your willpower. You need to make your willpower so strong that it should be perpetually sustainable. It should be perpetually strong. Life, a lot in life depends on what we learn and from whom we learn. A lot in life depends on who are the resources associated with us. A lot in life depends on who our friends are. There is a notional value of the people in your life, Captain Vinay, and that notional value is we feel bold, we feel daring with the right friends in our life. Irrespective of what obstacles you face, if you have the right resources with you, your mind will pop up the names on who can support you in a situation which you are not able to control. Friends, remember one thing: we need a lot of resources in life to reach where we want to reach. All these resources do not need to be owned by you, but all these resources need to be accessible to you. And how do you do that? By being a giver in life. Whenever you're in a stronger position, you need to keep giving. When you give, you connect to people, and when people connect to you, nothing will ever trouble you ever in life. You will have solution to every problem, you will have an opportunity in every obstacle, and you will see life as being extremely favorable to you because you have been favorable to the others in your life when you were in a stronger situation. So we need to keep building an ecosystem, a group of people with strong willpower. Whom you choose as your friend is your choice that you make. And if you have a collection of such group of friends, trust me, Captain Vinay, your willpower will be stronger and it will be sustainable forever.
Beautifully explained, Mr. Agnello Rajesh, and some lovely words there. I'm going to come to my sixth question, and I'm going to go back to where we left it last as a conversation. Uh, you mentioned about developing willpower, right? Now I'll come to that. When we are talking about developing willpower, are we born with it? Are we born with a certain level of willpower, limited, fixed, more, less, or can we increase this? Is there a way to increase the willpowers that we think we bear already?
So, Nidhi, please understand, willpower, like I explained before, is something that you exercise regularly on your mind. All your past instances and experiences collectively form the knowledge and the courage for you to take on your current situations and be prepared for the future situations. But willpower is not strong the day you're born. Willpower gets stronger as you travel the journey of life, as you come across obstacles. And I'll tell you the biggest and the best thrill of life, when you overpower an obstacle by converting it into an opportunity, you will be very confident of the strength that your willpower has developed. It comes with experience, and for that, you have to go through the process. You cannot borrow experiences from others. You need to travel that journey yourself. As you keep doing this repeatedly, time and again, you become a person with a very, very strong willpower. And till the day you exit this world, you need to keep practicing on making your willpower stronger. It is a collection of all the experiences that you have experienced, all the obstacles that you have overcome, and all the obstacles which you have converted into opportunities, which becomes a part of your overall personality, and you become the go-to person. Whenever and wherever anybody in your circle faces an obstacle, he knows that the right person to go is Nidhi, the right person to go is Captain Vinay, the right person to go is Sakshi Tandon, the right person to go is Nitin Munot, the right person to go is all of us for the friend circle that we have been building as an ecosystem.
Interesting thoughts again. What kind of I'll come to my next thing, because as the thoughts are just coming to me, and I want to ask more and more into this. What kind of education goes into this? Is it our schooling that defines, how much willpower we will have? What determines this?
So let me give you an example of a very famous actor, Nawazuddin Siddiqui. He's another favorite actor of mine, and I'm sure everyone knows Mr. Nawazuddin Siddiqui as an epitome of willpower. From a very small role in Sarfarosh back in '99 to becoming the most prominent actor in Bollywood. Nidhi, Nawazuddin Siddiqui's journey reminds me of the saying, overnight success takes about a decade to happen. So for us, we might feel it's an overnight success, but for Nawazuddin Siddiqui, it took more than a decade to happen, and he has worked as a watchman also. All you need to be is the decade of struggle, which is being overcome by you purely because of your strong willpower. So please understand. I will also answer this question that you asked me by giving another example, and that example is another favorite example of mine. That's Jack Ma, whose life is perhaps the greatest example of success through failure. The audience already knows this, Nidhi. You also might know this, but Jack Ma failed primary school twice, middle school three times. He failed his university entry exam three times. He was rejected by the police force, and he was even rejected by KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, when he applied for a job. So he failed everywhere. He also had applied for Harvard 10 times, and again, all the 10 times he was rejected each and every time. And today, Nidhi, he is one of the richest people in the world as the founder of Alibaba, one of the biggest e-commerce companies on the planet. And as early as just in 2009 and 2014, Jack Ma made it into Times Magazine of the most influential people that the world has seen. He was also selected as one of China's most powerful people by Business Week, even appearing in the front page of Forbes magazine. So what do you think Jack Ma had? Personality? No. Wealth? Definitely not. Ecosystem when he began? No. He started from scratch. But despite all these failures, Nidhi, Jack Ma faced all the rejections. He persisted throughout with a strong and an unwavering willpower. He struggled to succeed, and every time he fell, he knew he had to stand up taller. And one of Jack Ma's favorite saying is, if you don't give up, you still have a chance. And giving up is the greatest failure. Now, all these examples are living examples staring into our face on what willpower is all about and what you can achieve if you train your brain, if you train your willpower to be stronger than what it was day before yesterday, than what it was yesterday, and then what it was a few moments back in your life. So giving up is the greatest failure. If you want to be successful in life, if you want to have a strong willpower, you should never give up. come what may. Never giving up will build your willpower stronger than what you had it before.
Very inspiring and something that makes me want to go back and probably undo a lot of things or a lot of decisions that I made in life. Now I will come to another thing. How do you connect such stories with your current life scenario? I getting a little personal in here, but please connect the dots for us.
So now, Nidhi, I believe in this so much in the willpower, which is why my business partner Lina Asher, who is a renowned educationist and entrepreneur, I'm working on launching India's first dream school. And the way we are building the curriculum, Nidhi, it's just going to be fabulous. I'm so excited, but I keep the juicy secrets to myself now, and I will talk about Corroboree Online School more when the time is right. The same is with my partner in the restaurant business, Sonal Barmecha, who created the powerful brand of Sante Spa Cuisine, which is a place to go for healthy vegetarian food and which also has a lot of vegan and sattvic options. She again is the epitome of willpower. So, Nidhi, when she launched the concept of Sante, no one believed in her type of food. And today, all the people that one would desire to meet in a lifetime dine at Sante thrice a week. That's the power of willpower. And now the same willpower has driven us to open Sante in Khar at Mumbai, which is also seeing fantastic results. So, Nidhi, what I would like to say is when I choose people in my life today, if you want to connect willpower with me, my current mindset and how I choose and make decisions, I make it simple. I just select those people who already are having a very, very strong will. So whether it is Lina Asher, whether it is Sonal Barmecha, whoever I work with, these are outstanding people who give me a lesson or two about willpower, who tell me that focus, confidence, dedication, persistence, consistency, not giving up is the way to go, is the way to grow. When Lina Asher started Kangaroo Kids and Billabong High almost 27, 28, 29 years back with hardly a few couple of students, she never knew that she's going to build an empire of 200 schools.
Right.
When Sonal Barmecha started Sante Spa Cuisine a couple of years back, she never realized that her passion could take her to multiple cities of the country and very shortly to multiple countries of the world. But it was their willpower which made them successful. So today, what I do with my willpower is I try to locate people with similar willpower or stronger willpower and just get associated with them. If you can't beat them, join them. I can't beat a Lina Asher in school education. I can't beat a Sonal Barmecha in operating a healthy food, vegan options restaurant. So rather than competing with them, why not join with them and be their partners? So that's how I use my knowledge of choosing the right people with willpower, making them as my partners, enjoying the journey of life together as them being my colleagues in this journey of life, and making life more meaningful, more interesting, more successful, and more happy.
And very, very excited to hear about these ventures that you spoke about. Can't wait to hear more about your venture with Lina Asher. Miss Habib here says, can't wait to know more about Corroboree. So please tell us more at some point about that. Miss Tandon here says, it's a power packed session, and I absolutely second that. You mentioned about Sante's Spa Cuisine. It's beautiful the words that you said about Sonal Barmecha, because yes, who knew at some point a health food joint could go pan India and pan world at some time. So more power to all those people who listened to their minds and worked with that willpower. But Mr. Ignalo Rajesh, one thing I would like to add here, uh, of course, when you have the will, you have the way, but not everyone has that kind of willpower. Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. What are the ways in which we can strengthen our willpower?
Nidhi, let me share a few mantras to strengthen your willpower, and I will use a weight loss mantra for that. So let me share 5 mantras. So I know, friends, I definitely know, friends, that everybody today has the biggest challenge in life, and that is weight loss. Weight loss is every person's challenge, and I request you to leave a comment on how you or someone you know strengthens willpower by managing their weight. So let me share the mantra number one. Mantra number one is not to take too much at once. Try settling. So when I talk about weight management, I'm undergoing weight management thanks to the guidance that I'm getting from Vishwashar. He is my nutritionist who's helping me with my meals. So during weight loss, I'm going to use this example to explain willpower. Try setting small achievable goals and focus your willpower on accomplishing those small goals. That's critically important, so that you're happy that you achieved the goals. Mantra number 2 is to plan ahead. Give your willpower a break by making decisions in advance. Let's not do decision making at the last moment, but let's decide in advance. We need to schedule the menu for the entire week and even do some advanced meal preparation. That will again help you to achieve your smaller milestones. The mantra number 3 is easier said than done. Whatever I'm saying is easier said than done, but this is the gateway to improving your willpower. You need to avoid temptation. The biggest temptation is when you're on a weight control program and the choicest of the food, especially the food that you love, appears on the table and you have to resist. So you need to avoid temptation. That's mantra number 3. Mantra number 4 is to exercise your willpower muscle with activities. Okay, so like activities like mindful meditations may improve your self control and help you to act from intention rather than habit or craving. You need to be mindful of every decision that you're taking. Physical and mental fatigue can lessen your willpower. So make sure that you're away from physical or mental fatigue. Meditation definitely can help you. And apart from that, you need to get enough sleep to make sure that your energy levels are high and you're comfortable in your mind. And the last mantra that I would like to say is reward yourself. Please understand that you need to reward yourself. If you reach a milestone, celebrate with something that won't set you back. And if you need, or if you indeed want to celebrate, you can come at Sante and in car and celebrate all that you want. That's what my very outstanding nutrition expert, Mr. Vishwas Shah of Fit to Core, celebrates with his clients. When they lose weight, he gives them a party at Sante Spa Cuisine in Khar. So that's a brilliant way to motivate the person who has lost weight. And that's what Vishwa does. He's yet to give me the treat at my own restaurant purely because I've not lost weight to the numbers that he wants. But he will be surely doing that very, very soon. So understanding willpower from maintaining and controlling your weight is a great example for us to all absorb on what are the steps to be taken to make sure that you maintain your willpower and make it stronger by the day.
Right. And I must add, when you eat at Sante, you're not exactly binging. So you're still in the blue because you're eating healthy. So coming back to the 10th question, in the personal aspect of it, beautifully explained, sir. I think I'm going to go back to this, edit this clip out and hear this every morning on the mantras that you explained. But if I had to put this in a business scenario, could you give us an example keeping that in mind?
So to conclude my answer further, Nidhi, I would like to say that develop a growth mindset and believe you can. So your mind works in a very nice way. If you believe you can, you will. If you believe you can't, again, you can't. So your mind listens to how you think. So Nidhi, I would like to give you another business example. We all know the story of Vijay Shekhar Sharma, the famous founder of Paytm, who had several reasons to give up, but his dedication to succeed is amazing. So you need to have the belief in yourself that you can. So let me share this, friends. Vijay Shekhar Sharma didn't even know English. He actually learned it at a very late stage in life. In fact, during his journey as an entrepreneur, he was conned by his friend and had a major setback of almost 8 crore of loan, and he survived that. Can you imagine at a growing stage having an 8 crore loan can be absolutely suicidal, but the
Absolutely.
willpower is what takes you to the other side of life where there's plenty of happiness. Nidhi, there was a time when he could not even pay the rent of his house. He used to search for the cheapest food available to eat. He did part-time jobs to earn something which he would invest in 197, the parent company of Paytm. And through this tough phase, Nidhi, he never gave up. The mantra of willpower, never to give up. He did the same. The positive
Beautiful.
vibrations of his thoughts and the visualization of his success created an opportunity for him when he met the owner of Polar Software, Nidhi. And that gentleman was Mr. Piyush Agarwal, who requested his help. And this meeting changed the course of the life of the Paytm owner, who we see so successful today, who we call as a billionaire and a trillionaire, and he's the poster boy of India across the world. So another bonus mantra to keep growing your willpower is that you set a goal and fail. Even if you set up a goal and fail, don't give up. Tell yourself, I could not do it this time because I don't have the willpower yet, but I will try again and again and again and achieve the goal I have set for myself. Never giving up is the most powerful mantra for building a very strong willpower.
Very inspiring. Please absorb that, guys. Never give up. And I know at every point in life, a lot of us are at that brink of maybe I think I should give up. And maybe these words are your call to action that do not give up. Another thing that I want to come to, and a very, very vital question, sir. We've discussed a lot about everything we should do. What we've not discussed is what not to do. How should we secure this position of our willpower? How can we not get weakened? How should we not let it get reduced? All our efforts towards having a good willpower.
So just like any other muscle in the body, willpower also becomes fatigued and tired when you overuse it. So if you repeatedly resist temptation, it drains your ability to withstand future enticements. That's what happens with our willpower also. This is one of the main reasons why diets have cheat days where you binge on your favorite food. So just like the top three mantras, just like the last five mantras that I shared, I would like to give top three mantras to boost your willpower. And this three mantras might help you to make sure that you don't weaken your willpower. Nidhi, willpower is a game of balance, and balance is a game of sustainability. This is the first mantra that I would like to share. You need to create the balance, and if you create that, it becomes a game of sustainability. We are all prone to thinking willpower is not all. We all also think at times that willpower is sometimes nothing, and easily forget that without building balance in our plan, even the most ferocious explosion of will is not sustainable. You need to make your willpower sustainable. So we have to know ourselves. Like I said, self-awareness is the key. We need to understand our own personal SWOT analysis, our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats. The next mantra I would like to share would be, we need to have to make small bets. You see, before winning big bets, we need to start learning small bets. It's like in the gym, you slowly build up the weights. You don't start lifting up 20 kgs on the first day. You start with
True.
2.5 kgs and you progress yourselves to larger quantities or quantums. We begin our day with energy reserves and enhanced focus. But as the day wears on, during the day, a lot of people are very fresh in the morning. But as the day goes along, they start to get a little fatigue. Uh,
Right.
it also impacts our self-control. We need to control all these things, and it often happens that people are less likely to cheat during the day, and we are more likely to cheat at night at the end of the day, because your will feels weak during the evening. It is very, very strong in the morning. It becomes a slight weak in the afternoon, and in the evening you feel like giving up. So please be aware about it, and please maintain your day in a way that it keeps you motivated. List the activities that you will do so that you're focused on keeping yourself enlightened, light, and happy, so that you don't cheat even at the end of the day. And the third mantra I would like to give is, willpower also has technique. The most willfully resolved person on the planet still needs practice. Like I love to say, even on the day that Sachin Tendulkar got retired, he had a batting coach. So you need to always have a coach. You need to always keep practicing. You need to always keep sharpening your skills. Few people can sustainably lose weight and get in shape without a seasoned practice for getting there. You get me? Why? Because they have a very strong willpower. Will may be the power, but nothing without practice. You need to practice, practice, and practice, Nidhi.
Beautiful words, and something that I have fixed in your for future year on. I had left the best for the last, and I'm going to come to that now. Why is this important? Everything that we discussed about willpower, why is willpower that important?
Well, Nidhi, willpower is very important. The reason is willpower moves us to achieve goals and always stay motivated. So if we don't have willpower, we'll never try to be the best. Only willpower will move us forward towards our goals and achievements, Nidhi. As an entrepreneur, I can set goals for myself and my team. But without willpower, whenever I receive an opposition, I will give in. I will try to change my goal, try to modify it, try to change it to prevent further similar opposition. So whenever there is an opposition, we always try to alter our goal. For everyone needed to achieve goals and lead a life of purpose, willpower is critical, willpower is crucial, and willpower is most important. The importance of willpower can be demonstrated by the example of Jessica Cox. the only licensed pilot without arms. Nidhi, I was moved when I read the story of Jessica Cox. So she was the only licensed pilot without the arms. Can you imagine this, Nidhi? When Jessica was born without both the arms, her parent didn't grieve. They didn't give up. Their willpower was so strong. In fact, her father had never shed a single tear over his daughter's life-altering disability. Instead, Jessica's parents challenged her to be great, and with courage, willpower, and passion, she touched the sky. In literal terms, she touched the sky by becoming a pilot. So, this takes me back to the question where you asked me about ways to strengthen willpower. All the parents watching this episode, please inspire your child to believe in themselves. Let the world tell them they can't. You tell them what they can. That's how you can sow the seeds of willpower in their tender minds. Ultimately, what our children become is what we feed into their mind from a tender age. If we are bold parents, if we give bold advices, guidances to our children, they will become, because they will believe in what you say. And when they grow up, they start believing in their own capabilities and responsibilities, and soar the skies and touch the sky. Whether you have arms or not, each one of us can be the pilot in life, achieve success, help others achieve success, and lead a very happy and glorious life.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, this is such an inspiring story, Mr. Agnello Rajesh. And no dream is unattainable if you have the perseverance and the willpower to shape it. Jack Ma, Mahatma Gandhi, Jessica Cox, all those examples, J.K. Rowling, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, and many more names. All those names, though, they are just in here now after we've discussed about it. And one thing common that we saw in all of them, which you highlighted today, probably the mind didn't go there, but now that you have put it in perspective, what I realize is the one thing common that we see in all of them is willpower. And the world tells you is impossible, not enough. So, another name to add to this list is the man in question over here, Mr. Agnello Rajesh. He's been a boy who has grown up living in Chols, and today the man builds villas. And I mean it. He literally does build villas for the world. Another example of how willpower can change lives of us and others around you? Do you?
Fantastic. That was, thank you for your generous words, Nidhi. Thank you so much. Nidhi, life is
We
all
are
about
so
abundance.
inspired, sir, with all those words. The fact
Thank you
that
so
you have
much.
made it on your own will, all the way up, probably with all the examples you added in there were beautiful. But the one live example right in front of us, which cannot be discounted and cannot be bargained for, is Mr. Agnello Rajesh. And his life story, which I have heard personally as well from him, and has only inspired me to do more with, is the fact that he is an example of a person who changed his own stars with his hard work and with his willpower. Thank you for inspiring so many people, sir.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. Life is all about abundance, abundance of confidence, abundance of ideas, abundance of resources, abundance of goals, abundance of ambitions, and abundance of willpower. That's what we all have. It's a free resource. We need to build it stronger. And all this together creates a life worth living and creating history rather than just reading it. We need to read history so that we get motivated by what others have done. But I'm sure each one of you watching in over here is leading a life where you too are creating history in your line of activity or in your space, which the others will read and get inspired from. Thank you, friends, for joining us on these inspiring conversations. Thank you, Nidhi, so much for
Thank you,
getting
sir.
this done online. And I really enjoyed all the questions that you asked me. I really enjoyed all the comments of the viewers.
I'll have
And
many more coming up for you.
thank you so much. Have a lovely day and a life ahead. Thank you so much.
Stay tuned, guys. We will be coming next week with another very interesting conversation with Mr. Agnello Rajesh. And, sir, keep inspiring us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.